CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Thank you for joining us. The kidnapping of a woman from a Wasaga Beach home made international headlines more than 4 years ago. Well, tonight, the man police said was responsible for her disappearance and presumed death has beaten the murder charges. Here's CTV's Mike Arcelides with more on the kidnapping of Elnaz Hajtamiri and the plea deal struck by her former lover, Mohamed Lilo. A warning, tonight, some of the details may be triggering to some of our viewers.
Mohamed Lilo could soon be walking the streets of Montreal a free man after beating murder charges in the case of his missing ex-girlfriend, Elnaz Hajtamiri. Lilo sentenced to 4 years in prison after pleading guilty to kidnapping conspiracy in Hajtamiri's disappearance on the night of January 12, 2022. In hiding from Lilo following an earlier assault with a frying pan at a Richmond Hill parking garage, Elnaz was kidnapped by 3 men posing as police officers with a fake warrant for her arrest. Dragged barefoot through the snow, loved ones haven't seen or heard from her since. Police believe Hajtamiri is dead. Lilo was found guilty of aggravated assault by a Barrie jury last June. Sentenced Friday to time served, having spent nearly 4 years behind bars. Credited with 6 years in pre-sentence custody under lockdowns. The court heard Lilo hired several men to watch and attack Hajtamiri. About a dozen men and women have been charged in the case. The majority of the accused had their charges either stayed or withdrawn by the Crown. 2 of the attackers from the parking garage were arrested in Edmonton months later, caught stealing Ford F-150 pickup trucks. Lilo, police said, ran a shipping container business and worked with Hajtamiri, who told police she feared Lilo, who refused to accept the breakup. The Crown characterized Lilo as an obsessed and scorned lover. He stalked her, hiring private investigators and members of gangs, including car thieves, to track, scare, and hurt Hajtamiri. Police believe the frying pan attack was a failed abduction when a passerby intervened and chased the men off. The court heard Hajtamiri's SUV had tracking devices on it.
I'm Elnaz Hajtamiri's mother.
Hajtamiri's family provided a victim impact statement read to the court after Lilo was sentenced for the aggravated assault. Her loved ones saying, "Mr. Lilo, we feel like you are soulless and have absolutely no remorse. You sit here with your expensive legal team, hoping for a second chance to flee and do it all over again." Telling him, "I hope you never close your eyes again without seeing her face. I wish you an eternity of suffering, remembering this gentle, loving woman laying there on the ground, terrified, bleeding, dying because of you." Telling the court, "Will there be more victims after her? This man cannot be rehabilitated. The evil runs through his blood and bones." Adding, "You never succeeded in your quest to control Elnaz. You are a failure. You were never enough for her. She was good and you were evil. She never loved you. She never returned to you, despite you begging, and you were never worthy of her affection." When offered the opportunity to address the court, Lilo apologized to the Hajtamiri family. The plea deal comes 2 weeks shy of what would have been Hajtamiri's 42nd birthday. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
An 18-year-old man is in police custody tonight after a stabbing in Barrie's South End this morning. Officers were called to a housing complex in the area of Yonge Street and Cox Mill Road around 9:30 a.m. Police say a man in his 40s was taken to hospital. Paramedics tell CTV News they transported one patient with serious injuries. Police say the victim and the suspect knew each other. No word on any charges. Barrie police, meanwhile, are searching for this truck believed to be involved in a failed-to-remain crash at the GO Transit station on Yonge Street. It happened around 7:30 a.m. on April 29th. Police say the truck was trying to leave a parking spot and hit the front driver's side of a gray SUV that was beside it. Investigators believe the pickup truck is a newer model Dodge Ram, possibly black, and will have damage to the passenger side rear door and rear panel over the tire. An Innisfil man faces multiple charges in connection with an arson investigation in Whitchurch, Stouffville. Emergency crews were called to the area of Warden Avenue and Aurora Road just after 3 p.m. for an industrial building fire. When they arrived, smoke was billowing out. The fire caused around $1 million in damages. No one was injured, but the 59-year-old is facing 5 charges, including arson, mischief, and uttering threats. Provincial police continue to investigate a crash involving multiple vehicles in Oro-Medonte. This was on early Saturday morning. Happened just before 4 a.m. on Highway 11 between Penetanguishene Road and Line 2 South. Police say one or more of the people involved in the collision may have fled the scene before police arrived. That prompted the OPP to remind drivers not to pick up any hitchhikers or people that you don't know. After surviving 2 consecutive do-or-die elimination games, the Barrie Colts are gearing up for one more tonight, hoping to punch that ticket to the OHL final. Let's go to the Sadlin Arena tonight. That's where our CTV Mike Lang joins us live with more on the big Game 7. Mike.
Yeah, Sarah, co-captain Kayshawn Aitchison says he and his teammates are excited but tunnel vision focused, as you'd expect heading into a 7th deciding game. They had to erase a 3-1 series deficit, as you mentioned, earlier in the Eastern Conference Final, punctuated by Mason Zabeski's overtime heroics in Saturday evening's Game 6. The Barrie Colts hit the road to Brantford this afternoon for Game 7, made possible by this moment.
Aitchison takes the shot in front, backhand, scores! Mason Zabeski, your overtime hero!
Mason Zabeski's goal keeping the Colts alive with their season on the line for the 2nd straight game. The thrilling 4-3 win, forcing Game 7.
Now it's O'Brien with a lane to the net. Takes the shot, scores! Jake O'Brien.
Trailing 3-2 in the series, the Colts fell behind 3-1 in Saturday's Game 6, but Carter Lowe's late second period goal and Jaden Newton's second of the night halfway through the third tied things up at 3. Goaltender Ben Hrebic named the OHL's Goaltender of the Week after making 54 saves. Star defenseman Kayshawn Aitchison led the offense from the back end with 3 assists.
Every game you try and get shots on net, try and make their goalie feel uncomfortable as much as you can. And I thought obviously in that OT that was a big part of Zeb's going to the net there, going hard, and him making a great play and a great finish.
But the Colts will have to play Game 7 without their other co-captain and leading scorer. Cole Baudouin is unexpected to play after missing Game 6 and much of Game 5 after what head coach Dylan Smoskowitz called a very unfortunate injury.
It's a big blow. He's our best player, and he's got so much heart for this team, and he does so much for our team here. But he's been doing such a good job supporting us, building guys up, and we also have a lot of other great players that we're probably playing lower in the lineup, and when they get their chance, they can step up.
The Colts are looking to win the Bobby Orr Trophy and advance to the OHL Final for the first time since 2013. And puck drop is just after 7. Tonight's winner will face the Kitchener Rangers in the OHL Final. The Rangers ended the Western Conference Final Series Friday night after eliminating the Windsor Spitfires in 5 games. Reporting live outside Sadlin Arena in Barrie, I'm Mike Lang. Sarah, I'll send it back to you.
All right, appreciate that, Mike.
The road to the Memorial Cup is brought to you by the Boots and Hearts Barn Burner Charity Hockey Game.
Well, new questions are being asked tonight about the massive radar project in Clearview Township. Part of the land needed is made up of sensitive wetlands, and on it, protected species. As CTV's Luke Samard tells us, wildlife groups and farmers want to know what's being done to protect it all.
Where we are standing now, about a week ago, we would have been up to our waists in water.
The Department of National Defense purchased 700 acres with its eyes on another 6,000 so they can install a massive radar facility as part of Canada's commitment to defense. Parts of that land contains the Menacing Wetlands, a sophisticated freshwater ecosystem covering more than 7,200 acres.
That's where our floodwaters go. It maintains a nice water table for our plants, for our high fertile soils here, so we can grow good crops. You work with it, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
As sophisticated as fragile, the freshwater swamplands contain hundreds of animal and plant species, some at risk.
We can think of birds like the cerulean warbler that's endangered, but that we know uses the menacing wetlands. Also wood turtles. All species of turtles in Ontario are species at risk. Some of them, like the wood turtle, are endangered. And so preserving what we have left and restoring what we've degraded is hugely important.
WWF Canada continues to advocate for protection of wetlands.
In Ontario alone, we've already lost more than 70% of our original wetlands. In Southern Ontario, it's even more. And so we need to protect what we still have.
According to Friends of Menacing Wetlands, no wetland removals have been proposed at this time. In a statement to CTV News saying, "We would be quite concerned about wetland removals if that was to ever become part of the project, but this does not appear to be necessary for the project." The D&D has stated they need dry, flat land, leaving farmers in the area confused and wanting more answers.
It might look flat, but it's not. The property that D&D currently has purchased, there's over 35 feet of fall. and they want to level that within a few inches. That is insane amount of earthwork. Like, you're talking millions and millions of cubic yards of dirt that they have to move to get that to level out. And what's that going to do to the environment around? Like,
CTV News reached out to the DND and asked questions regarding the impact on the environment. While they didn't directly answer, a statement spoke to public engagement sessions that says environmental studies will be complete prior to any work being done. The DND is currently inviting the public to provide their comments, concerns, and feedback on the environmental impacts of the project until May 10th. You can find the link on our website. Luke Samard, CTV News, Clearview Township.
We now know exactly what parks and nature areas around the city will be included in Barrie's new conservation board. That is what our Jack Morris is following tonight. He brings us the details of the announcement. Jack, what do we know?
Well, Sarah, it's going to be a total of 725 hectares of city land. And a big chunk of that, those are new lands acquired in the annexation from Springwater Township earlier this year.
Mayor Alex Nuttall made the announcement against the backdrop of the Gables Park in Manette's Point, one of the city's most popular wilderness parks.
This is the largest contribution into conservation in our city's history by far.
Much of the undeveloped land on Kempenfelt Bay is now protected, nearby Allendale Station Park and North Shore Trail across the water. But those aren't the only parks designated for conservation under the scheme. Some of the wilder city parks are also being protected, Milligan's Pond and here at Sunnydale Park Natural Area. The city is also protecting a swath of other lands less suitable for development. Riverwood Ravine, Bear Creek Wetlands, Sandy Hollow Ravine, Ardaw Bluffs, Hewitt's Creek Ravine, Lackey's Bush, and Lovers Creek Ravine, with plans for those lands to be turned into more usable urban wilderness parks.
That we have the appropriate work done inside of them to make them safe crossings of all of the creeks, safe walking paths, and also to ensure that we're respecting that natural environment, taking care of our wildlife and our community.
Much of the land around Little Lake is now protected, a promise Barrie made to Springwater during annexation talks.
A large part of the new conservation lands are coming into the city recently from the Township of Springwater through the municipal restructuring. And so it's just a great opportunity to add extra layers of protection onto those lands.
Nuttall has directed staff to draft a bylaw within the next 30 days to establish a municipal services board to oversee the newly protected lands. It'll be made up of up to 5 members of council, the mayor of Springwater, and citizen reps.
Now, part of that Conservation Committee's mandate is going to be to try to help the city reach the target of 30% protected lands. That includes lands and waters, shores, those kinds of things, by the year 2030. Sarah.
That is our Jack Morris reporting live for us tonight. Thanks, Jack. Wasaga Beach says it is stepping up protection for piping plovers. This comes less than a month after admitting to a construction mistake involving a sensitive area. The town announced today the addition of 2 piping plover technicians. The seasonal roles will support monitoring and recovery efforts for the endangered shorebird, including nest monitoring, data collection, and public education. On April 13th, the town admitted a small area on Beach Area 1 was mechanically groomed in error. The town has since begun installing educational and interpretive signage along the critical habitat zone and within the town's designated no-rake zone. The Barrie Police Marine Unit was called to action for the first time this season on Sunday. Marine officers were called to rescue a woman who had fallen off a paddleboard in Kempenfelt Bay near Manette's Point Park. The woman was pulled out farther into the lake by the strong currents and fell into the chilly water. Officers were able to find the 28-year-old woman. She's from Nova Scotia. She was brought back to shore in good health. This is Emergency Preparedness Week right across Canada, and today a hyper-focused demonstration was held at the County of Simcoe Administration Centre. Drones or remotely piloted aircraft systems were used to show how it could be used in different emergencies, including a rescue in a forested area. It was part of several workshops held for the emergency management members from the county, plus other emergency response partners.
Today we're going to practice using infrared and heat vision to try to locate people, so extra technology on the drones. We have the ability now where we can provide voice messages over a drone, and we're working on how can we triage a person.
Part of the strongest things we do is communication, and technology is a core to that. So we want to make sure that we're up to date on everything that's available out there, and it just makes our job a lot easier to complete the searches that we're doing today, and we can find the victim a lot quicker.
The theme for this year's Emergency Preparedness Week is Be Prepared, Know Your Risks, encouraging Canadians to understand the risks in their area and learn what actions they can take to protect themselves and their household. Time now to take our first look at weather. Oh, Casey Colby, you're wearing the right emblem tonight. Go Colts. Any predictions?
Oh, yes, Colts 4-3.
Oh,
there it is.
Sure on that one.
Yeah, you'll see the results at 11, I'm sure. Let's see the results from 11 o'clock in many ways. The winds are picking up. That means the winds have changed. Yes, our Colts are going to be victorious. I just have that feeling. And weather-wise, well, the winds of change are certainly happening. Let's take a first look at the forecast. And here we go, of course, brought to you by the GravelDrivewayGuy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 22 degrees. Wow. Beautiful out here, and the winds, well, they're picking up out of the southwest. Sarah, they'll gust as high as about 70 kilometers an hour a little later on. This is the temperature outside your door. 23 degrees in Sunshine City of Orillia. Looks like 23 in Gravenhurst, 22 in Owen Sound, 22 in Toronto, 21 in Alliston, Ontario. 19 is the cool spot, and that is 19 degrees in Parry Sound. This is a look at the radar satellite images, and what do we got there on the top left? I think it is part of the winds of change, and a little rain is making its way towards us. When I say little rain, well, I'm going to expand upon that coming up in just a few minutes' time. And remember, Sarah, go Colts, go. I say 4-3. What do you say?
I'll back you up on that one, as long as it's 4-3 for the Colts.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Case. Hundreds of military personnel gathered in downtown Barrie on Sunday to commemorate the Battle of the Atlantic, which took place during the Second World War. Sunday's ceremony also welcomed a top-ranking officer from the Royal Canadian Navy.
To the Commander of the Royal Canadian Navy, Vice Admiral Topsy, Parade, General salute.
Those that lost their lives and those that served that came back, we owe a lot to them. We would be living under, probably, as the Admiral said, a different regime right now.
This victory is a victory that all of you here in Barrie own a piece of. And as those who are the veterans of the Battle of the Atlantic, fewer and fewer of them are with us every year. I ask that you honor their memory by carrying on the knowledge of that sacrifice.
Get people of that stature down here, and to be able for Dave Aspin to be able to organize that, fantastic. My kudos to Dave Aspin.
I want to start by thanking all of you. You all made a decision to sign up and serve your country in uniform. To the veterans at the end, thank you for coming out. We honor your memories as well. We all serve in the memory of the liberties that you fought to preserve and to create for us.
That's the type of leadership the Navy has, and it was really touching for the cadets and the veterans to be recognized like that publicly on parade. And I give them a lot of credit.
To commemorate the more than 2,200 naval troops who lost their lives in the Battle of the Atlantic. And better idea of when amenities will reopen at Innisfil Beach Park. As phase 1 of construction continues, the town is sharing the latest reopening schedule ahead of summer. So the boat launch looking like mid-May, the North and Central Beach and volleyball courts mid-June, the new washroom pavilion July, playground and new toddler equipment August, tennis and new pickleball courts September, and South Beach mid-October. The park will remain open during all of this construction with temporary closures where they're needed. Most of phase 1 is expected to be done by mid-October. Service on the Barrie GO line resumed today, but riders should still expect some significant schedule changes this week. The line was shut down this weekend while crews completed track work along the corridor. Because of that construction, train and bus schedules will be adjusted throughout the week. Southbound trains will depart up to 13 minutes earlier than regularly scheduled, while northbound trains will leave Union Station up to 8 minutes earlier than usual. The province is introducing legislation that will allow special constables to arrest people who are using drugs on public transit. When passed, special constables will have the power to issue tickets or make arrests if a person is caught using drugs on buses, streetcars, or subways. Those convicted under the provincial code could face a maximum fine of $10,000 and or 6 months in prison. The Ford government says the changes are all about public safety.
Far too many Ontarians are encountering individuals whose behavior is affected by these substances in their day-to-day lives, on their way to work, in their communities, and in parks and in public spaces. These interactions can be frightening and in some cases very dangerous. And when they happen in the enclosed space of a bus, a streetcar, or a subway train, they are often even worse.
As part of the legislation, the province is also going to make owning, using, or selling pill presses illegal, as well as certain chemicals used in illicit drug production. You may hear music fill the air on this Monday, and it's part of a nationwide annual celebration of music education.
Wonderful music teachers, and I just wanted to be around them so much, and I just love playing instruments. I feel like if you do it more and you have someone who can talk to, like my music teacher, Mr. Nunes, it always makes it feel better, and it's actually a wonderful experience.
12 elementary schools from the county plus Collingwood Collegiate performed this morning at the Music Monday event that was held at the Wasaga Beach. The group joined more than 200,000 students, educators, musicians, and more from across Canada.
They're participating in Music Mania, which is an extension of what used to be the Collingwood Music Festival, which is a celebration of music in our elementary classrooms. They perform their songs from their classes. I hope these kids take away the joy that music brings.
The annual Music Monday event is the signature program of the Coalition for Music Education in Canada. Still to come, talk about a home run. The Barrie Baycats charity game was a smashing success. How much it will help the Barrie Food Bank? That's next. Plus, putting a foot forward in memory of those that have been affected by workplace injuries. It was an incredible display here in Simcoe County. We'll take you there next. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors.
Music, it's a small community, so when something's really good, we all want to be part of it.
We have an amazing music scene here. Having people come together in community, listen to some amazing local artists, brings the downtown alive. It brings our city alive.
Troubadour Festival 2026 is going to be off the hook. Road Hammers, got the Watchmen, Bahamas, going to be great.
First up, as we round up the weekend, Barrie was one of more than 30 communities across the country taking part in the annual Steps for Life walk on Saturday. It saw hundreds gathering to walk alongside those who have had a loved one that died or was injured in a workplace tragedy.
We're here to create awareness, to create support for the families. The Threads of Life organization provides many programs for families to help them support in their journey for healing.
When a workplace tragedy happens, it doesn't end on the job site. It follows families home. It echoes through empty chairs at the dinner table, unanswered phone calls, missed milestones, and a future forever altered.
More awareness and being mindful every day in the workplaces will lead to more prevention, and that's why we're here.
On average, 3 Canadians die in a workplace accident every day. Last year's walk here in Barrie raised almost $25,000. The Barrie Baycats and the Barrie Food Bank teamed up for their 4th annual Home Runs for the Hungry charity baseball game on Saturday.
All right, this is for a good cause, guys. Don't hurt yourselves. Let's have some fun and let's go win.
We're more alike than we are different, and so the more that can come together and shine some light on food insecurity, we're all winning. We're all winning with this.
Blue team on the board, 1-0.
This is for the community. I mean, it's a great time out here for the fans, for the people that love the game in Barrie. So I'm happy to be out here, show some love to the community.
We have community support from the Rovers and the fire chief is here and the police, and it's just a really nice community event. Go two, go two! Runner!
We are celebrating the Bay Cats because not only have they been announced in the Canadian Baseball League, but the fact that we can come out and they support us every year with this event, and their players volunteer their time and then shine some light on food insecurity means such a great deal to us.
Number 15 from CTV, Sarah Freemark.
Oh, yeah, that's about how good I am at baseball. Barrie Food Bank hit its goal, however, out of the park and raised $40,000. If you're looking to get caught up on the weekend events, you can always go to our website. But before we go there, let's talk about the Bravado Show Choir, because the community singing group hit all the right notes on the weekend. There's our team member right there. Curtains Up Bravado does Broadway. It was a journey through stage musical classics. The group redefines choir with a little dance and an accompanying band. There were 2 shows, one on Friday night and another on Saturday afternoon. We had a fabulous time. There's Jocelyn right there, one of our multimedia journalists. There's a look at the website. You can stay on top of everything that's happening throughout the city. ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or use the cell phone to scan the QR code on the screen. Still to come, sometimes all it takes is one. A first-time RVH Auxiliary 50/50 ticket buyer brought home the big win. That's coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, let's head outside. Casey's in Bob's Garden.
Go Colts, go! Go Colts, go! I've got my lucky mullet on this evening, and luck, that's what we might need in the forecast. Yeah, our weather watcher, Artis, take it away. Yeah, Jaden says buds are on the trees, the tulips are coming up. Flurries in the forecast? I'll explain. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away a lot of prizes. A fishing rod a day in May starts this week.
Also, tickets to Monster Spectacular.
And don't forget about the Bounce boarding call, where you could win a $4,000 travel voucher and $1,000 spending money as well.
So make sure you're listening Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Keep all that silliness coming. We would love to see it, whether it's the selfie, a pet close-up, perfectly timed candid. Picture this at ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Let's head outside. Speaking of silly. Is this your hockey hair? You've got the flow to go with the jersey?
It's my lucky mullet. My lucky mullet. It's game set. We need all the help we can get. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll let you do it.
All right, let's do it. We need a little luck here. You can hear the winds just whipping around out here. Again, gusts to 70 expected this evening, so it is pretty substantial. Let's continue on with a look at the substantial forecast. And I mentioned something about flurries too. Okay, we'll get to it. How about 20 degrees is where we're sitting currently in Mount Forest, Ontario. 20 in Collingwood, 19, holding on to 19, Perry Soundway, and 21 degrees in Newmarket, and 22 in the Big Smoke of Toronto. Let's talk about the almanac. 21 and 6, 17 and 4 is normally where we sit, and 29.4 way back, record heat in 1880, and minus 3.3 record chill in 1881. How about 14 hours and 23 minutes of daylight? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the forecast radar. Increasing cloud cover this evening. Is there some shower activity on the way? Well, there certainly is a good chance. And again tomorrow. Yeah. Flurry activity, he said. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. This is the southern tip of George and Bay Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures settling in 7, 8, 9 degrees. Increasing cloud cover. Yes, we've established there's a 40% chance of flurry activity. And then for tomorrow, 10, 11, 12 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. And yes, there is a pretty good chance, we're calling it a 60% chance of shower activity for tomorrow. Not a tremendous amount of rain, but nevertheless some rain on the way. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 10, 11 degrees. Increasing cloud cover, a 40% chance of showers. Although in the Richmond Hill area, we're throwing in a risk of a thunderstorm this evening as well. And then for tomorrow, well, predominantly cloudy skies, 13 and 15 degrees. We're looking at showers and a risk of a thunderstorm in the Richmond Hill area for tomorrow. How about Parry Sound, Huntsville? Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 6 and 8 degrees overnight, increasing cloud cover and a 60% chance of shower activity. 10, 11, and 13 is what we're looking at for tomorrow. Cloudy skies and a 40% chance of showers in the morning, clearing into the afternoon. So isn't that lovely? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, that's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and here we go. Simcoe County, there's the sun. On Wednesday, sun and cloud, this being the 5-day extended forecast for Simcoe County. 10 degrees, sun and cloud mix. Thursday has 10 and sunny skies. Friday, here's 8 coming at you and a 60% chance of shower activity. And then Friday, make that Saturday sun and cloud, slight chance of passing shower. 5-day extended forecast, have a look. And as we have a look, it looks like Wednesday, at this point, cloudy and 40% chance of shower activity and clearing late day. Thursday, 11 degrees for the high, again 11 on Friday, and it looks like a 60% chance of shower activity. And Saturday, sun, cloud, slight chance of a passing shower. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton. Well, Wednesday, sun and cloud, 12. Thursday, sunny skies and 10. Friday, cloudy and a 60% chance of showers and/or snow flurries. Yeah, snow flurries. Saturday, back up to 10 degrees and a slight chance of a shower or two, very slight chance. And 10 and 2, that's what we're looking at. And we're looking at this evening. Again, I've said it, I believe the Colts are going to take it this evening. And Sarah's right there with me, back inside.
I certainly hope after putting in all of that effort, they do win. Well, speaking of that, winning has become a reality for another local lady through the RVH 50-50 auxiliary draw.
Have you been buying the tickets for a while?
No, actually, it was a spur-of-the-moment thing.
This is your first time?
It is.
Oh.
Yeah, Monique took home nearly $393,000. This was the first time she ever bought a ticket. She says she grew up in Barrie and has been to RVH a lot, so she decided to support the cause.
I thought that I was somebody's emergency contact and that I was being called because somebody was hurt. Turns out it was certainly not that. I was much better of a call. The gratitude that I feel right now is overwhelming. It really is. I just feel like it's a new beginning for me and my family, and I can breathe really easy right now. It's just such a lovely feeling.
The funds go for patient care for equipment throughout the hospital. Right now we're going to hopefully pay off our pledge for the MRI third machine that's gone down into the Innisfil site.
Monique added that she plans to pay off her student loans and put a down payment on a house. Now the next draw, maybe you've been on the fence. You too could be a first-time winner. The next draw, early bird on May 8th and the grand prize on May 27th. Still to come here on CTV Barrie, new faces in the Toronto Maple Leafs front office. We'll take a look at who will now look to lead the team back into the playoffs. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. Stay with us. Time now to recap our top stories. Mohamed Lilo could soon be a free man after beating murder charges in the case of his missing ex-girlfriend Elnaz Hajtamiri. Lilo was sentenced to 4 years in prison after pleading guilty today to kidnapping conspiracy in Hajtamiri's disappearance on the night of January 12th of 2022. He will be sentenced at a later date. After surviving 2 consecutive do-or-die elimination games, including a thrilling overtime win on Saturday night at the Saddle Arena, the Barrie Colts are gearing up for one more tonight, hoping to punch that ticket to the OHL final. The game will be in Brantford at 7 p.m. And the Department of National Defence is inviting the public to share their feedback, comments, and concerns about the project in Clearview Township and its environmental impacts until May 10th. Parts of the land include the Minising Wetlands, which is a sophisticated freshwater ecosystem home to hundreds of animal and plant species, some of which are at risk. There's now another local business open here in Barrie, and if you feel like getting your sweat on, everyone is invited.
I wanted to to give a big thanks to all our community partners. We've got a bunch of people coming together, supporting local businesses, helping out all of our members here. It's going to be an awesome week, and thanks to you guys.
Team Northhouse is welcoming anyone who wants to give it a try to do so for free this week as the doors on Brine Drive are officially open. The strength and conditioning classes at the Community Fitness Club are typically 45 minutes long, and if you buy a Northhouse protein shake, the proceeds support the Barrie Food Bank. Starting today, executives in the federal public service are expected to be back in the office 5 days a week. The Treasury Board announced a change to remote work rules in February and say all other employees will have to be in the office 4 days a week as of July 6th. This applies only to public servants and core departments and agencies under the Treasury Board, though some are separate agencies like the CRA. They have said it intends to do the same thing. Some unions have responded by filing unfair labor practice complaints. Moving right into our markets on this Monday, the TSX was down 252 points, the Dow was down 557, and the Nasdaq was down 46. And commodities, oil was up, closing at 106.42 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at 4,533 an ounce, and our dollar was down, ending the day at 73.47 cents U.S. The Toronto Maple Leafs introduced 2 new members of their front office this afternoon. A new face is taking over as general manager, and a fan favorite is returning as senior advisor of hockey operations. CTV Sean Leathong has the details.
A new regime for the Toronto Maple Leafs comes with an uneasy feeling.
Here is your 19th general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, John Chayka.
MLSE President and CEO Keith Pelly announcing the hiring of John Chayka as general manager, with Leafs great Matt Sundin serving in a hockey advisory role. Chayka comes with a past. The 36-year-old is the founder of sports analytics company Stathletes and was once the youngest general manager in NHL history for Phoenix. He resigned that post in 2020 and was subsequently suspended by the NHL for an entire year. Commissioner Gary Bettman citing conduct detrimental to the league. Chayka hasn't worked in hockey since. At today's news conference, Pelly was asked quite pointedly about the decision to hire Chayka by Sun columnist Steve Simmons.
I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
That's it? Because I'm telling you, the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence, and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process, and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
Chayka said he owns all of his past mistakes and has learned from them, defending his credibility.
I got a lot of really great relationships around the league. I was able to do a lot of transactions, do a lot of business, have a lot of close friends that are top agents, top executives, former players, current players. And, I tend to try to focus on that as opposed to, there's always going to be naysayers. That's the reality of this. And the one thing I really love about this opportunity in this market is either you win or you lose, and the rest is kind of noise.
Sundin, who's the all-time leading scorer in Leafs history and was captain for 11 seasons, has committed to moving his family back to Toronto from Sweden for the role of senior executive advisor on hockey operation, but it's unclear who is the boss.
And I'm sure that the things that I can compliment him with is things that is really comes out of experience of 18 years and 13 years with the Leafs and 11 years as a captain.
And they take over a team that has taken a step back, missing the playoffs for the first time since 2017, adding to the uncomfortable feeling from this announcement.
Usually, there's some positive energy to an event like this. A new guy's coming in, he's got fresh ideas. It's the culmination of a lifetime of work to get there. But because of what happened with him in Arizona, the way it ended there, cloud of controversy, I think that definitely has impacted the way this is being received.
Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Now, staying on the ice, the Montreal Canadiens have advanced to the next round of the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Tampa Bay, but Montreal threatening here, scores on a deflection, and Montreal has struck first.
Not to add insult to injury for some, but Montreal will now be the only Canadian team to advance to the second round of the NHL playoffs after a 2-1 win against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Canadians will now face the Buffalo Sabres in round 2. That'll start on Wednesday. Moving on to the hard court now, the Toronto Raptors have been eliminated from their playoff run after a tough Game 7 loss last night to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
And the Raptors, after taking Game 6 at home, they fall in Game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Now, this is a tough one. Toronto never trailed in the first half, but had a terrible third quarter, couldn't recover, falling by 8 points and ultimately dropping the game. There's always next year for all of our teams. Still to come, flipping through the pages of the phone book. Remember those? We'll have more on the continued use on what some would consider a piece of history. Details on the other side of the break. Here's a look at your Monday night primetime lineup. Back-to-back episodes of Suits starting at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Thanks for staying with us. This is the time of year when many Canadians get their phone book delivered in the mail. Now, it may surprise some to know that phone books are still being produced at all. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth takes a closer look at what many consider to be a relic of the past.
Corrine McClellan received the latest phone book in the mail.
We took it out of the mailbox, walked home with it, and threw it right in the recycling bin.
Phone books have been discontinued in many Canadian cities. They are still sent out in small numbers. But even so, Mike McJanet hasn't used one in 20 years.
There's different ways of doing things today.
I think probably in another 2 to 3 years, we won't see phone books anymore.
CTV reached out to the Yellow Pages company to ask how much longer phone books in Nova Scotia will be produced. We did not receive a response. Digital anthropologist Giles Croach says people now find phone numbers online.
Any single-use technology that can be replaced by digital technology will get replaced by it.
Croach says the same online technology has changed many aspects of our lives. Even hard copy instruction manuals and other paper products are being phased out by smartphone QR codes.
But you can also use them for a menu if you're at a restaurant. We saw that a lot during the pandemic. And you can use them to do two-factor authentication for safety.
With things like phone books, paper manuals, and paper menus slowly being phased out, what does that mean for people who don't have access to smartphones or the internet? Seniors advocate Bill Van Gorder says close to 30% of Canadian seniors are not online. They use phone books.
The problem for them is their children, the people they want to call, all have cell phones, and the cell phones aren't in the phone book.
Van Gorder wants seniors to adapt to digital technology to maintain their independence and social connections. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Case, I don't know about you, but I remember the phone book well. In fact, I go so far back, keeping in mind this was in the Ottawa Valley, but I remember when it was still just 7 digits. There was no need for the area code. You?
I still drive on a 1985 Toronto phone book so I can see over the dash. So I don't want to get rid of mine, that's for sure.
It's got a use.
Yeah, absolutely. The winds continue to blow, Sarah. Let's talk about the Get Up and Go forecast first thing tomorrow morning. They're really howling, actually. This is, here we go, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Looks like cloudy skies. Chance of a shower, 9 degrees in Barrie, 11 degrees in Newmarket at 7 o'clock in the morning. Some shower activity. And some shower activity certainly possible in the Gravenhurst area, 7 degrees. Go Colts, go! Sarah.
Thank you very much, Casey, and I love the spirit. Absolutely. Go Colts. We will bring you what we can tonight at 11. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks so much for starting your week with us. Good night.